it or not, or a no-show today, and Anna Maria is at the vet, so she's probably not coming.
I have to leave like just before 12.
Okay, okay then. Wally, firstly, do you have any sentences or anything you want to read to us?
Well, I worked on the homework. Man, that
Okay,
was a
so
challenge. That was a challenge. Whew. First,
let me fill
first.
Heidi in. Wait,
Oh,
let me fill Heidi in about what is
okay.
this. So last lesson, Heidi, Wally said he's playing some Wordle word game, you know, where you jumble up all the words and then you got to put the sentence. That was my understanding. So I gave them a Google Doc, clearly state the subject, what is it we're doing, things we've already done, and I just jumbled the words in the sentence in random order, and I'm like, okay, now you guys piece it together. Okay, I'm gonna sorry, put the
I did, as long as I had internet on the plane, I was trying to review that, but I lost internet and
I
it's a late
understand.
flight, so.
It's okay, no stress. I'm only filling you in now. So you have that right now on the screen, you can access it. So sorry, Wally, tell us what didn't work for you with this.
Oh, I mean, it worked. Like I don't know that I've got the sentences, you know, actually grammatically correct. So what I did, I took the words and first I wrote, I decoded them into English, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at, okay, so what does it they mean and how so trying to make a sentence out of the English and then looking back at the, you know, little fractions of phrases that you put there with the different words. Then I tried to create the sentence in Spanish, but I understood it, but trying to put it in grammatical order was like, yeah, that was quite the challenge. But I attempted all of them except for one.
Okay, tell us which one didn't work for you.
I can't remember. Looking at it, I think it was number 3 of the first group.
Okay, a las 9 en la mañana.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, no worries. So yeah, that was like a longer sentence with like separated by a comma and 2 fill in the blank formulas are basically separated by a comma. No worries. Let me put the first one on the screen so Heidi can see it without like actually going to the Google Doc, if that helps.
Okay.
Actually, I want to start with the with the fourth one, because it was really similar to what you told us in class.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put this jumbled sentence on the screen. Take a minute to read it. Tell me if there's any words, Heidi, that you don't understand, or Wally.
So I'm in the dock and I don't know how to get out of it now.
The dock ought to be open in your browser. So just minimize your browser and you're back on the site.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, awesome. So it's now on the chat, the one I'm referring to.
Okay.
Okay. Wally, how would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 the difficulty level of this particular exercise?
Probably, well, it depends, right? I mean, some of the sentences were more challenging than others. So, you know, I mean, the exercise as a whole, I'd give it probably a difficulty of, you know, 10 being the most difficult and 1 being the least difficult, probably around a 7.
Okay.
But there was, like I said, the number 3, like, it wasn't that I couldn't translate the number 3. Like I just, you know, I didn't have to look up any words. Oh, I'm sorry. I did look up one word, Digeron, because that was an irregular. That's an irregular.
Oh, that's so right.
But other than that, I didn't need to go to any translation device to try and figure out what. Like these are all words I knew.
Perfect. Yeah, that was one of the goals. Only words.
Right. Yeah. So, but then, you know, once I had the phrases, I could make the sentence, but I'm thinking, okay, so now what comes in what order? I mean, like and then I remembered, like when you make a sentence, you go like, okay, first the present, and you flip it to the future. But it's still like I was still at the bottom of the hill on that one.
Okay, may I say something?
Yeah.
It seems like at this stage, Wally, you are doing really well following instructions and within the container of a known structure.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when I say we are going to work on Estava, so all your sentences for the next 10 minutes will start with we were on or I was, and then follow that formula, then you do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I kind of put you in the open field out by yourself, and I'm like, now you come up with that thought process of creativity or whatever, coding the mechanism, that's where you kind of like facing too many options, and then you kind of like not doing it. Am I?
Oh no, I
is
get
that
it.
inaccurate?
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, yes and no. I think it's just still learning. That's all.
All right. Okay. So
you wanted to start with number 4.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yes, please. Number 4.
Okay, so I'll give it a shot. Yo y mis 5 amigos fuimos a cena un restaurante, pero todos estaban llenos, así que comimos tacos en la calle.
Okay, you scored an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. And the good news is you made a glowing mistake where you like completely deviated from the formula.
Yeah.
That I'm drilling inside of you like 3 times a week for a year now, and then that's an easy fix. So.
Okay. So.
Buscar would never come before fuimos a. Fuimos a buscar is the right structure.
Okay. That makes sense.
Heidi, do you see why? Like, do you follow me why?
Poquito. Yeah.
Okay.
Fuimos. Yeah.
Here is the English translation. We went to.
After fuimos.
Right. Like fuimos a is we went to, and then it's always action or location, right? So that's the formula, quote unquote. That makes sense? We went to, and then.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying here. That's all. Okay, so Wally, could you read us your sentence again and maybe try to fix this one?
I'm pretty happy with 8.5.
Yeah.
You're far ahead of me because you know what all the words mean.
Yo y mis 5 amigos fuimos a buscar cena un restaurante, pero todos estaban llenos. Así que comimos tacos en la calle.
Heidi, did you understand everything he said?
No.
Okay, Wally, you help her out to lead her to the.
I and my 5 friends.
Yeah. Went to look.
Went to look for. I didn't hear the order that you said them in either. Went to look for tacos in the street tacos.
Well, first we were looking for dinner in a restaurant, but
you were looking for what?
They were a cena in un restaurante.
Oh, you were looking for a restaurant.
Cena, dinner in restaurant.
Got it.
But they were
looking
full.
For a restaurant for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking for a restaurant for dinner, but they were all full. So we ate tacos on the street.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So think about that sentence in English.
Yeah.
Now, if you jumble the words in English, how hard would that be for you to like track it back to the original?
How do you mean? Like,
I mean, if I give you the same sentence right now in English on the screen, only I, jumble the words. In English, how hard would it be for you to trace back the original structure?
So you're saying doing the kind of the No.
You mean
Let me
translating
tell
it
you
back to
exactly what I
English?
mean. In English, let me tell you in English. Me and my 5 friends, we went looking for a restaurant for dinner, but they were all full. So we ended up having tacos on the street.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Right. So that sentence in English, we take it, we jumble all the words and you have to look at them. How hard would it be for you personally to like rearrange it?
So well, it was like that even in itself. So like I said, what I did first, I took all your little like yo y mis cinco amigos, comma, buscar, comma, tacos en la calle, comma, todos estaban llenos, comma, right, etc., etc. So I wrote them down in English that way. Okay.
Perfect.
And then I looked at it and I thought, that makes a lot of sense. I understand what's being said here now. Wally, make a sentence in English.
Okay,
So
got it.
I wrote it in English, and then using the English, I went back to, like, I had the screen in front of me, and then I tried to phrase it in the Spanish, following the structure of my English sentence. So what I did was a literal translation, right? Instead of
That's perfect.
That's why I got buscar in front of fuimos a.
Okay, valid mistake. In that case, it's not a mistake at all.
Right?
It's difference in thinking, so it's good.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I'm asking this question is some people have a particularly challenging time with that type of exercise, even in English. It has nothing to do with intelligence level. It has to do with the way we process information. I have some challenges in that area too, on other areas. So I just wanted to make sure I'm giving you the right exercise, and there is not like something hidden on a map that is like making this extra hard for you. That was my question.
So then what I did, I took it one step further to simplify. And so the next group of sentences, what I did was, okay, so I decoded it into English, and then I took a 60,000 foot view of it, and I thought, okay, and then I numbered them.
Perfect.
So
why not?
So number one, we're going tomorrow. 2, with our friends. 3, the carnival. But then I changed it up again a little bit as I was doing it. So can I do sentence number 1 of the second group? Okay, vamos a mañana para ver el carnaval. Después queremos ir a la Malecón con nuestros amigos.
Okay, not bad. Give me one more minute. I'm going to finish translation on the screen of that jumbled Spanish sentence for the benefit of Heidi and Sharon. Not Heidi, I'm sorry, Ana Maria.
No, Heidi.
Heidi's here. I hope. Heidi, are you with us, right? Like, you understand what we're trying to do and everything? If you have comments, questions, something not working for you, you want clarification, let us know. If you're silent, I understand that you're on point with us.
Or I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, well, if it's not working, you let me know because it's my job to guide. But
so
other than
why
that,
is lunch in quotes?
I just wanted to make it a bit easier, so I put in an English word there, and I didn't want you guys to like go look for the Spanish word because that wasn't the point. It's a light lunch, you know. Because we're translating the concept. It's less an exercise about word by word English Spanish translation. It's the concept. There we go. So this is the English of that Spanish sentence. Excuse me.
That's the first sentence we did.
Yeah, that's the first sentence we did. Now I'm going to put on the screen this one that you were commenting that was more difficult, number 3. I'll put it on the screen jumbled in Spanish. Heidi, take a minute to read it.
I mean, I knew what it said. I mean, I can tell you what those jumbled phrases say. What I have to do, I can switch that into English to translate easily.
I know that, and that was not the point of the exercise. The point was
number three, I can see like what things mean, but then putting them into a sentence, and that's
awesome. So, you know, I'm not like the world's biggest genius. This is my attempt of giving you an exercise to reinforce the way you think. You know, when you want to say something and you kind of like, how do I say it? Just like Heidi happened to you with the homework. There's 3 ways to say it, and then you end up thinking about 3 different things and it goes nowhere. I always tell you, we have a set of step-by-step formulas, right? Some of the easiest way to start your sentences, like when you want to express anything, is in the present tense, a circle. I have to, I want to, I need to. In the past tense, I was, I were, we were. In the past tense, I went, you went, she went, right? In the future tense, I'm going to, you're going to, right? And then that structure is always like that plus action location, right? And details afterwards. I'm going to the store tomorrow. Those are the details. And then now sometimes if it's an interaction, you're going to have that. There's a pronoun coming before that structure. Voya dar, I'm going to give, and te voya dar, I'm going to give you. So you got a pronoun sometimes ahead of it. Another variation is that you got the structure, voy a dar, but you got some connection word, que, cuando, por qué, right? Why am I going to give you 5 pesos, right? Por qué te voy a dar? So everything we learn during classes, this is gelling this all together, and then like, okay, what do I do with my information? So you guys are at like kind of step number 3 of everything, which is good. We find out we need to practice more on that step. Fall back on your training. I have a set of formulas. So when you recognize those words, estava, fui, voy, all those, like, yeah, okay, well, that's going to start my sentence, right? And then restaurant, tacos, details, that's fine. And look for connection words. That's like the bulk of the word. Any other leftover words, you're gonna like probably judge correctly where to put them. And even if you don't, it's half a point off your score. It's not a big deal. So with that said, Wally, please try to translate the sentence. You know what? Sorry, are you agreeing with what I said? Does it make sense? Am I talking totally crazy?
No, 100%. It's just that, you know, I'm not going to go back and look at the formulas to try and create a sentence on the spot. Right?
Oh, really? So, why not? Why not? If they're not like buzzing in your head, ready to go out, why aren't you?
Because I have a pretty good idea of what we have to do here.
Okay.
Because then I'm going to look at like, okay, so formula number 4, formula number 6. Okay, so now I've got I've got 3 formulas jumbling around to try and put the sentence together. So now I'm looking at the phrases plus the formulas. Now I'm really stuck.
I want to address this because this is the way I interpret, the way I understand what you just said. It is a symptom, and Heidi, you're a doctor, you ought to resonate with that explanation. It is a symptom to a problem. The problem is you now have so much information. You sat here for a year, you know how to say so much, you know, different word past, you got a lot of info. That is the symptom, like how do I now glue it together to say normal sentences like normal human being?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that is always the hardest step. Like giving you the knowledge is not so hard. Like this is not rocket science. You're not in Harvard learning rocket science, right? It's not hard.
Sure feels like it.
The hard part is the mental work.
Yeah,
that's the hard part. And I can't do the work for you. You have to do the work. I can guide you and share experience and give you tips to show the way. But that's why it's hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, so don't shy away from hard. Hard doesn't mean it's something bad.
No. Hey, I did the sentences. I missed one. I missed one. I still get 90% for effort.
Yes, you do. Okay, I'll shut up now. Please continue on.
So I did it in English. I did do it in English. I have to return another time on Wednesday at 9 because they tell us the office is closed.
Yeah, perfect. That's definitely the next the second half of the sentence. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
So, but I didn't, así que tengo que, I have to is there. So, I'm thinking, okay, so if I started my sentence in English like that, I have to return, regresar, right? I'm not going to start the sentence with así que tengo que.
Actually, yeah. Sounds
Really?
funny enough, but yeah, así que functions kind of like a comma in a sentence.
Right.
When I write this long sequence, like any long sequence like this would have a comma somewhere in it, right? Just naturally.
Right.
When we speak the así que, therefore, so, well then, in that case, those words function like a comma. So,
okay.
Yeah, así que tengo que regresar. It kind of sounds less funny when you say it, kind of like a Mexican.
Well, okay. So I didn't think you would start the sentence with that. I got hung up on that one. Así que tengo que regresar. Regresar miércoles. Miércoles a las 9 en la mañana. But there's extra words there another time. Porque la oficina está cerrado.
Correct. And there's also something that they told us. You didn't address that at all. Okay, tell me, what do you think? Like, you know most of the words in English, so give me the general idea of what's happening here.
Well, I just said I have to return another time on Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning because they tell us the office is closed. And so I'm thinking, okay, so where does nos dijeron come in? Where does estar ahí come in?
Okay, fine. That was a challenging one. No problem. I understand.
Was it a challenging one, or was I just anyway?
I mean, look at the amount of words. There's like almost 20 words in there. So yeah, I would call it a bit challenging.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. Before we solve it, I would like to ask Heidi. Would you like to try, Heidi?
No.
Okay.
That
was pretty direct.
I got what you got, at 9 o'clock in the morning, and Aussie K Tango K immediately caught my attention. I'm like, what is Aussie K Tango K? So, I mean, I know, so I have to.
Like I would have started the sentence with Tingo K, you see? I have to, or tenemos que, we have to.
No, you don't actually start a sentence with a CK. Like, if you start a brand new conversation with me, we are already in a conversation and we have been talking for 2 to 3 sentences beforehand.
Right.
A brand new conversation, which is what this is. I come at you out of the blue on a screen with a sentence. That's a brand new conversation. You knew not ever started with therefore. Just like in English. You don't run to your friend at the gas station like, oh, buddy, therefore, I told my wife. Okay,
so you gave us a hint because you capitalized the nos of nos dijeron.
Dijeron. There is no Dijon in Mexico. It's Guadalajara and Juan and Jesus.
There's Dijon mustard.
There is a Jesus.
That's what I saw.
Dijeron.
Yes.
Okay. So next time I'm in Canada, I'm going to ask for Dijon mustard.
Okay, sorry. What were you saying, Wally?
Oh, I was saying the hint that you gave us in that sentence, you did capitalize the N. But I didn't know if that was a trick or not. So I just kind of still didn't really. Well, it's a
number one, I don't trick you. I don't like put tricks in sentences unless it's unknowingly, because I'm a flawed human being and I'm not that bright, and then I mess up too. So.
Oh yes, you are. It was like, and you're making a puzzle. So like I'm thinking, okay, so like anyway.
Okay, no problem. Let's start with nos dijeron. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, they told us, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
what could
possibly? That's a word I don't know. Is that a conjugation of to say? Or
okay, well, look at the verb document. The Google document is titled, it states in the beginning that we are, in this exercise, we are practicing past tense verb endings.
Okay.
And those are Aaron and Aaron, and that's for the day you all. Like, it literally says that in the title.
Okay.
So yeah, you and I can practice that.
Okay.
Okay. It's very straightforward. There are about like 5 or 6 irregular verbs.
Yeah, I saw that up there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it literally means they told us. Dijeron is they said or they told. That's that
okay. Got it.
All right. So they told us, and then what would probably come afterwards?
La oficina está cerrada.
Yes. Perfect. Next.
So we have to return. Oh, maybe the office is closed on miércoles.
Okay.
I know we have to return at 9 tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
But I'm missing estar aquí.
Oh, okay.
And I'm missing otra vez and por qué.
We have to be there another time at 9 o'clock tomorrow on in the morning. At 9 in the morning. Well, it doesn't actually say. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so you guys got like 7 out of 10 correct, and the last 3% you were kind of not really sure about to score a full 10 on the exercise.
Okay, but I don't see otra vez.
Which is why? Is it estar aquí?
Right. Before we translate, but notice how that little bit you didn't really quite know how to fit in doesn't really take away from the meaning of the sentence.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You understood everything that's going on. You got a picture. You don't. Perfect.
I thought that was another trick. Put a couple extra phrases in there that you don't need in the sentence.
No.
I don't know. I mean, like, first of all, anyway.
No, it's okay. But yeah, English does use more words. Sorry, Spanish, we use more words to phrase what English does in rest. Never mind that. My point is, notice how even that little bit did not take away from what you understood and you got the picture correctly. That is the point of the exercise. Like, that is a success for me. Let me tell you what I was thinking. More or less, right? Like, let me look at the Google Doc. Like, let me think what I meant 2 days ago when I wrote it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nos dijeron que la oficina está cerrada, así que tengo que estar ahí otra vez a las 9 de la mañana. Something like.
That's pretty.
It doesn't matter what I meant. If you can want to phrase it differently, you got the picture. They told us the office is closed, so I have to be there again. At 9 a.m. Period. Success. 7 out of 10. Success.
Yeah, I like this was I found this fun actually.
Well, you started it by your saying you did the word games, but you were thinking in Spanish and they were English words.
Yeah. Exactly. So, there's one, like I put one up on the screen, like in the chat, so that you knew what I was talking about. I mean, you need to to do that game at that level, you need a very, very broad English vocabulary. And I mean, there's some words that I need, like I'm stuck on. But, the other day there was one, it was a couple of E's, a D, a B, and an R. And right away I thought, the bear. Like, right? But this was good. Anyway, do you want me to read another sentence?
Actually, I want Heidi to do this one. It's not that difficult. I mean, those two were the biggest ones. Try this one, por favor. It's on the screen. I put it on the chat.
Actually, that one was a bit more challenging for me.
Yeah, it's hard. That
Was
one's
it?
hard.
Okay.
I've got, I guess, because I don't know.
Okay.
And entonces is, I know what it is.
Look for the formula. Like if you see one of the formulas you recognize, that's the one that's going to start.
I found number 3 of the second grouping to be quite easy. That one flowed pretty easy.
Don't confuse her. We're on this one right now. Give it a go, Heidi.
Okay, so I see the going to, or they are going to. I've got 5 minutes. Estacionamiento. Later, entonces, is that, but so.
Entonces is so correct.
Yeah.
Or then, right? Isn't entonces also then?
Yeah. So
yeah,
then
or so, and you use it, just, logically the way you would in English. See?
But ACK means that. Anyways.
Well, that's the thing, though. Yeah, we got 2 words, ACK and entonces. They're both, beyond the verbal translation, the way you use them both is the same way you use so in English, right? And then some, like I use therefore quite often when I speak and write. I don't know if you personally do, but you can do that as well. And that's one of those 2 words. They are so frequent that I try to take any opportunity to introduce them to our sentences so you can, get used to them, because people do say them often.
I found another rule. Están buscando?
Perfect. Yes.
Están buscando. So to look for.
What are they looking for?
Look for. It must be the estacionamiento.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a station, but
it's parking. Parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking for parking, so they're gonna go later. So they're gonna go.
Not to go later. Look, there is no the to go verb, and there is no later.
Well, they are going to.
And then what's a star? What's a star?
They.
No, it's present tense. Like a star. Sorry, a star is a root verb. So star.
Yeah. I always think of it as just our going. Is our.
Take your pen. If you have your pen in your notebook next to you, take your pen. Write down a star equals to be.
Right. So they are going to be, they're going to be 5 minutes late.
Okay, so tell me again in English. Yes. So tell us again in proper Spanish this whole thing, please.
Van a estar tarde 5 minutos. Entonces, están buscando estacionamiento.
Okay. Wally, yeah, fine. That's fine.
Almost.
Wally, do you agree with what she said, or do you think it should be different?
I think tarde follows minutos.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Va,
5 minutes
van a-
late, 5 minutos
van
tarde.
a estar 5 minutos tarde.
I think in
Entonces.
Spanish they reverse everything, so I reversed.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that don't matter. Like, don't
But
waste.
you did that on the
don't worry about it.
on the spot. I mean, I actually, I had to put my thinking cap on and write it in my notebook. So good for you. Like,
Thank you.
Is it kind of like the same way you would say it to your friends in English?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think what first took me back was there's so many words that start with E. So I'm like, están, entonces, and I don't know why that would make me feel nervous. Estacionamiento, estar. But once I saw the vana, the star threw me off a little bit. But buscando, I mean, one of the first things I learned was ando, yando. So I knew I had to look for the están. So
I was wondering why there wasn't a porque in there for because they
it was entonces instead.
It doesn't have to be. It could be. They're gonna be because, or they're looking for parking, so they will be.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So Heidi, now
look,
that you
look at
sorry, go
the two of us today. Wow.
So Heidi, now that you decoded it, how hard would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? That Spanish sentence.
4.
Okay.
Because I was able to decode it, so it couldn't be too hard.
Okay. All right. Now I want you to do the first one, the number 1 on the list. I'll put it on the screen as well.
So there are 2 number. Oh, you already did the other number 1.
No,
okay.
This is number 1 of the first part, right? There is, like, the first part is Aaron, Yaron, and then it's separated with something, and then you got like present and future, and then number 1 in that part. We're doing part 1. Never mind. Please just
got it. The one we haven't done yet.
Group 1, number 1.
Thank you.
No, we're let's see. So no. Yesterday, look for Bud in the house to be.
It's not to be. I mean, estaba wouldn't translate to be. Try again. You know the meaning of it.
It's word.
It's not a word. It's not a word. On the track, but not that word. Yes, perfect. It's a was. Yeah, very good.
And Furon is we went. No, not we went. They went.
Yeah, perfect.
They went to the house. So, but they went to the house, or
the
But
is there a pronoun in the sentence, like a reflexive pronoun?
Bucar.
No, is there a metenos, lelos, one of those things in the sentence?
Oh, May.
Yeah, awesome.
So somebody went to look for, so May, Furon, Bucar. So they went to look for me, but, look for me yesterday, maybe, but, no estaba en la casa.
Perfect.
Wow.
Nice work, Heidi. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, now say it again with confidence. And what does that mean, Heidi?
Well, I did it half in English and half in Spanish. Okay. Me fueron buscar ayer, pero no estaba en la casa.
Perfect.
So they went to look for me yesterday, but I was not at the house.
I wasn't home, basically, right?
Yeah.
No estaba en la casa is I wasn't home. Now that you see it this way, it makes perfect sense, right? The structure we were talking about. That is the point of those exercises. I wanted you to recognize the structure, zoom in on it firstly, put it in the top of your sentence, and then all the other words fall afterwards.
Yeah, it's not quite as easy as you're making it sound, but that's okay.
I agree. Okay, yeah, no argument there, but that is like the work I want you to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is how you solve the exercise. This is the guideline. And
yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And this is how I would like you to get used to thinking. Up until now, you were thinking in Spanish, I don't know how to say that. I'm drawing a blank. I forgot. I don't know how to say that, right? You're used to that. Now, switch into which formula can I fill in the blanks with? Agree? Disagree?
I like this exercise. It makes me feel more literate.
Okay.
In terms of knowing, looking at it initially, I'm like, I don't know what any of those words mean, but if I take it in little bits, I know what the words mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know you won't be here tomorrow morning, Heidi. Therefore, I want you to. No vas a estar aquí mañana en la mañana, así que quiero que tú, your homework will be, write down a few English sentences. Start with English, write a few, past, present, you know what to do, and then jumble them around in English, and then write them down in Spanish, and you're going to bring that puzzle for Wally, Sharon, and Ana Maria to solve on Monday, okay?
Okay.
Give us 4 or 5 if you can. 3 to 5. ¿Sale? I'm afraid to ask Wally to do the same thing, and now we're gonna go down the rabbit hole and
okay. So write it.
I'm staying very quiet.
Jumble them in English or make all the words in Spanish. Convert to Spanish.
Yeah.
Convert to Spanish.
I want you to start with English. So start with English. So write down. Me and my girlfriend went for lunch yesterday, but we couldn't find parking, so we ended up sitting on the beach. Like something super simple. Write it down. Then look at what you wrote down and start jumbling the words, like just write them again in that English stuff, right?
Okay.
Step 3, you're going to translate all your English into Spanish, and this, you can translate the jumbly part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that jumbly part you bring to lesson, that's what those guys will figure out.
Okay. Got it.
So just a point of clarification here. Wally's jumble game, it's like humble. It's with a J, not G.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
First, when I first looked at it, like in passing, it was like, what? Uh-oh, I must be really making an impact because it looks like Wally's grumble game.
I might have misspelled jumble. How do you spell jumble?
Jumble.
Oh yeah, I spelled it with a G like golf.
Oh, not with a comma either. M.
Oh,
so I saw gumble, and I'm thinking, like, I know I'm getting, I'm getting this.
But
so
I'm
thinking grumble.
Jumble.
Wally Smith's grumble game. The guy's negative.
I'm used to Judith's misspelling, so I just read jumble. And I like that you misspell because it makes me feel okay misspelling in another language. It doesn't matter if I misspell it if I can speak the language and converse with people.
Exactly, 100%.
Thank you. I have to share, like, I still get self-conscious in English if I, like, there is a word I don't know, or I misspell it, or I pronounce it badly. I feel like so self-conscious, like I've just committed the largest sin in the world. And it doesn't matter if I can speak 3 languages, if I put a ton of effort, none of it matters. Like, I get ridiculously, like, hard on myself. So if that can encourage you guys, this is my
So I went to the gate the other day because we have to, you know, give people's names who are coming in for the security. And well, man, I've got this down pat. He's coming at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, I think I said Nuevo about 3 times, and the guard's looking at me like, I had to think of it I never caught it either until I was going back. I'm thinking, Wally, what an idiot you are. It's Nuevo.
So I ran into that a lot in the Dominican Republic, where I'm like, I got this. You know, you go to the towel place, and I asked for dos nueve toallas. Because I said toallas and Tell said it toallas. So he pointed to the toilets. I'm like, darn it, I have this. And it was the same look that's on our faces. Like everyone I spoke to in Spanish, they'd all just stand there and have like this blank look on their face. And then and they didn't really understand English well either. And some of them would help us. We went to schedule massages, and the woman said, kind of see you later, but she said, nos veramos luego. And I'm like, nos vamos. And then, of course, my husband, Joe, knows everything from TV and rock and roll songs. And he's like, well, isn't it like hasta, whatever Schwarzenegger says in his movie, hasta la vista. Hasta la vista. He's like, well, what does that mean?
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then our friend on the beach, the waiter, was trying to teach us Spanish, and he said, mi esposo es muy bonito. And I started laughing. I'm like, you just said your husband, not your wife.
Maybe that's what he meant.
We did have a lot of fun with the Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you had a lot of fun.
So they aren't exposed very much. They all live in Indiana area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I was really embarrassed when I was like, why is he telling me where the toilets are? So how do you say towel? Toallas? Toallas?
Yeah, toalla.
Toalla.
Because double L makes a Y sound.
So then I just started saying dos nuevo. Too new.
Okay, fine. Too new is not a problem. If it makes you feel better, Wally lives here. We literally have Puerto Vallarta, which is the main town where the airport is. Like, it's go shopping there and dinner. Mm-hmm. It's spelled with double L, and when Wally came to me, he would still like mess that up. And I'm like, you live here. What do you mean? So
toalla.
Feel good.
Toalla.
Oh, you know the word for rain? How do you say rain?
I forget.
Lluvia.
Lluvia.
And how do you say to call?
Llamar.
Llamar, right? Llamar.
And then I confuse
that one.
How do you
say to arrive?
To arrive, llegar.
Oh, llegar. Yeah.
I wanted to tell you guys that I arrived at 1 a.m. this morning, and I always get stuck between llamar and llegar.
Yeah. That's normal. One day it will come to you and would never go away again.
Well, the towel one I'm going to work on for my next resort vacation next year at this time. Toilet.
But then there's also a word tuya, which means yours.
Yeah, don't confuse her. But yeah, you're right. It's like super. Yeah, tuya is yours, one single feminine object, and it sounds super close to tuaya. Tuya, tuaya.
But it's with a Y, not two L's.
Oye, Wally, la tuya es tuya?
Tuya.
That's, yeah.
La
So the
tuya
one-
es tuya? That was
We
yours?
laugh when we order flour tortillas, but we could be ordering sand tortillas or spider tortillas. Aranya,
Yeah, harina.
harina.
Yeah, and aranya is really close. Yeah, that's true.
What
I
does
faced the
harina
same
mean?
problems. I was traveling alone through Costa Rica back in the 2000s, but there was no Google Translate. There were no smartphones. There was no via signal. I had a little like pocket dictionary Costa Rican, and I had a heck of a time. Those aranya, arena, what? I'm like, why can't those people invent a normal language where everything is very distinct and you never get confused?
In France, I would just point at the book. Like, they appreciated my efforts, but they did not appreciate me speaking, so I would just point.
Okay, I need to leave.
Okay, so do
It's
I.
just before 12, so sorry, but I have another appointment I need to meet, so.
Wednesdays,
Okay.
I go to visit my mom and leave at 10, so Wednesday's
Okay.
my day where I have to cut it off too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you
Okay,
Monday
Ross.
tomorrow and
Yeah.
on Monday.
with my homework.
Bye.
Okay, have fun. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.